Hey guys, welcome back to the Blues Lesson video series. In this video we're going to dig into rhythm, and we're going to specifically talk about the triplet and swing feel eighth notes, so we can put a little bit of a groove, a couple of strumming patterns or comping patterns to the 12-bar blues that we were playing in the previous video. So the majority of tunes that you'll work on as far as blues are concerned will feature triplet, feel, swing feel, or some combination thereof. There are straight ahead feel blues, certainly, there's a lot of that out there, but the majority of it will deal with triplet and swing, and that's where you're going to run into it the most, blues and jazz, and you know, it's definitely a good rhythm and groove and feel to be familiar with, because you'll make a lot of use of it. Whether you're playing the blues or not, it's everywhere. So we'll use the blues in A like we did previously. Just to do a quick review, our 1 chord is A7, our 4 chord is D7, and our 5 chord is E7. And to review the song form that we did in the previous video, or the 12-bar blues form, the first 4 bars are going to be 1, 4, 1, 1, so that's with the quick change. The second set of 4 bars are going to be 4, 4, 1, 1, and then the last set is 5, 4, 1, 5. So we're going to start out with the triplet, because this swing feel eighth notes are derived from the triplet, and if you can always remind yourself of that, no matter how you're working on it, it'll tighten up your ability to feel that groove. So we'll discuss that in more detail in a minute, but as far as a triplet, you know, the more ways that you practice this, the better, so your ear is getting in tune with feeling the pulse and dividing the beat into the appropriate number of divisions. In this case with a triplet, obviously it's going to be 3. You know, you can do that with a metronome, you can do that with a backing track. We're going to stick with counting out loud for now, but doing it as many ways as possible in your own practice routine is a great idea, just so it becomes second nature, essentially. So for the strumming, we're going to do, for each individual beat, there's going to be 3 strums. So you can count that triplet, triplet, that's often the way that I think of it, or 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, whatever you feel comfortable with. People do it a number of different ways. But that strum pattern for each beat is going to be down, up, down, down, up, down. And it's a good idea to put a little bit of an emphasis on that down beat, so you're really hanging on to the triplet feel. So something like this. Down, up, down, down, up, down. So we're going to run through that 12-bar blues form right now, and we're going to keep it about that pace, and then we'll speed it up, and after that we'll talk about the swing feel. So just setting up our entrance, it's going to be triplet, triplet, down, up, down, down, up, down. To the D7. A7, to D7, back to A7. E7, D7, A7, E7. So if you're not familiar with that way of strumming, because it's an odd number and we're going down, up, down, down, up, down, we're having to reset. I find with my students a lot of times it helps to just call out the direction for them, and of course have them do that for themselves. So there's just more of a connection mentally with what we're doing physically, and we're just kind of instructing ourselves what to do out loud. It's a very handy little trick, just to make sure that we're present in the moment of what we're doing and really digging into that exercise. So, that tempo is a common tempo for triplet fill blues. It can move very slowly and it can move quickly. You may not necessarily strum every single beat like that, but when you're practicing a rhythm, it's good to be thorough with it. Like I said, doing it with a metronome, doing it with a backing track, and then you can start to vary it up once you're feeling comfortable. So let's go ahead and run through that a little bit quicker this time. Well, a lot quicker. So we're going to think triplet, 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 triplet. 1, 2, ready, and A7, D7, A7, E7, D7, A7. So doing that just with a single chord or with open strings fast, good little trick to work on, because you have to relax that wrist. So that can be a little technique buster for the way that you hold the pick, the pressure that you put on the pick, the way that you move your wrist or elbow, how you combine those things can really boost up your ability on the guitar. Just learning how to relax, because big portion of learning guitar is letting go of tension. Now let's dig into the swing. So I said earlier in the video that swing feel eighth notes are derived from the triplet. So we're going to demonstrate how that works right now. So basically, before we dive into it, what is happening is, so you have 3 divisions of the beat, 3 even hits in one single beat, in one quarter note. So basically what happens is you eliminate, in a sense, the middle triplet. And really what's happening is you're combining it, so you're getting a quarter note triplet and an eighth note triplet. But the way to execute that and to understand it without having to overthink it is to strum a triplet. So we'll do that nice and slow, and then I'll call it out. We're just going to eliminate the middle strum. All right, so here we go. Ready, and triplet, 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 triplet. Now eliminate the middle strum. Triplet, 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 triplet. Now, it's not handy to count it that way, but that is a way to get to that rhythm. Because typically you're going to be thinking about swing eighth notes as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it's an uneven sound, and that's the way you would count it once you're comfortable with it. But to understand how it's coming from the triplet, it's a nice trick to count it that way. Let's do that a little bit quicker. We're just hanging on the A7 chord. So 1, 2, ready, and triplet, 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 triplet. Eliminate the middle one. So just so you can hear these two things against one another, because a lot of people seem to have trouble hearing the difference between straight feel and swing feel at the start. I'm just going to play even eighth notes and swing eighth notes side by side. So I'll start with swing. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So my beat is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now here's straight. So now we're back to even. And swing. So what I often reference is some old school cartoons where there will be this, you know, just kind of goofy character in a cartoon that maybe is a little slow, and he'll always have theme music that is kind of like da-dum, 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 and that works for some people if they get the reference. But if you do get that reference, then that's something to think of, and maybe there's some other a connection to something else that in your life that has that sound, but it's just kind of like this hop along feel. Another easy way to think about it is long, short, long, short, long, short, long. The first eighth note is long, the second eighth note is short. Super important because you don't want to flip that around. Otherwise, if you do, which will probably happen at the beginning, it just won't make sense musically speaking, right? So you got to hang on to that first eighth note being longer. That's the two eighth note triplets put together, and then the second strum is just the single, that third eighth note triplet. And you may have noticed that instead of going down, down on the first eighth note triplet and the third eighth note triplet, I switched it to down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Here we go. Let's play through it a couple times, once slow, once fast, and then we'll be done, and you guys can get to practicing. So through the same 12-bar blues, the same form. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... D7, here's the second set of 4. Back to A7. E7. D7. All right, so try this at several different tempos, and it's you know, the best idea is to do it at the tempo that you can handle it at. That's always the best tempo to work at, and then just bump it up little by little. But I'm going to go ahead and just give us a pretty big boost here. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and... Good job, guys. So you might find that you're going to be using, you know, working on the triplets and swing eighth notes, swing feel, and then you might start coming up with your own rhythms. That was just kind of like making up something there at the end. We're gonna dig into that in the next couple videos. We're gonna have a bunch of strum patterns to work on. But that is very foundational stuff, and if you can get that feeling really tight and understanding it very well, you'll be well on your way. So we'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.